Happy 10th of May, and is my son's birthday. I think he's 27, which is crazy to think. 28. No, 27. Um, guys, I'm really, really bad at this whole birthday stuff. Best I can offer 8 concussions. Four of them are, if I recall correctly, knocked me out cold. So, yeah, I'm about 3 brain cells shy of a talking monkey sometimes, especially when it comes to certain things. Got in that motorcycle accident in 2008 after the crash. And that right there, there's a part of my memory that got wiped. In fact, during that window of time, it reset every 3 minutes. So there were certain things that I just never recalled. And it's amazing how many events in my life I see pictures of that are completely wiped from my memory. Now, not everything's gone, but there's a lot that has been just pockets from that kind of a thing. So, uh, protect the skull, guys. I broke 57 bones in my life, not broken the skull, neck, spine, perfect. Um, Pelvis, never broken. Damn near everything else has seen a break of it or really close to it. So, my excuse for that. So, happy birthday, dude. Love you, man. So here's what we got going on right now. So this last week we had the big news was jobless claims. And so you had the initial claims, which is people filing for unemployment or their unemployment claim for the very first time. Those initial claims, the prior reading on that was 209,000 is revised up from the 208,000 on that particular reading. Now, there was the forecast of 215,000. They forecasted the new ones would be. The actual that came out was 231,000. Now, that's a big jump. That's a really big jump. Now, we do know they tend to revise, but with that kind of a big jump, it shows it is trending upward, which means the economy is getting a little bit more hit, right? It's a lot not as strong as the noise coming out of DC would want you to think it is, right? Not near as strong. So as a result of that, that would be something that would impact bonds positively. That's what we thought would definitely what that should happen. Now we've got continuing claims, meaning claims that were continuing to go from previous. They initially started, continued to report unemployment because they're hunting and not finding. Those continuing claims, if you go to the prior reading of basically 1768, then it goes to revision. So they revised that up to 1774. That's a pretty big jump. The current reading is 1785. So it's even up from the revised. So there's more continuing claims, probably because there were some initials in that same reading last month that would show that we're continuing to see unemployment continue to grow. So something that would help bonds. Next week, what do we have? We have the CPI. Yeah, CPI is going to be coming out. We're going to see what that tells us. Usually, CPI is going up means that you're going to start seeing that bonds should respond negatively to it, pushing rates up. If CPI is down, meaning inflation is under control, bonds might feel a little bit better. But let's take a look and see what bonds are doing as a result of that information that we received this last week with respect to initial claims. Right, again, the claims going up should mean that bonds would respond better. And they did. Look, they did respond, but they didn't hold. And so as a result of that, we were thinking when we talked last time, which was that this was going to be our peak. This was going to peak out. And I don't think or would peak out somewhere in here, but it was the peak the day that we had that information released, which is the 7th. Now it's come down. The jobs claim or the initial claims should have pushed it out of the channel if it was strong enough, but it didn't. It basically hit on a moving average and it did not get any better than that. Then we come off of that. So we're going to continue to trade down in this channel. I think this is our peak right here within the channel. Now, is my channel completely accurate? It may not be. It may be somewhere a little bit tighter, like right in here. So it may be right there. If you look at that, it bounces off the top of some of these other candles. It may be even, I may even have to adjust it a little bit. There's a potential there that I have to adjust the entire channel a little bit down in here. It may be there too. But the bottom line here, I may not be exactly perfect of where my channel is lining up as far as where its ceiling is, where its floor is, but it doesn't change the fact that we are continuing to trade in that trend. So price action is where I'm going to focus my energy at. A lot of people are talking about moving averages, talking about these particular ceilings and supports, and which I do agree with, because you look right here, this was drawn, bounced right, kept pounding on that and went right back into the channel. See, it pounded on this, trying to find a lower ground, get back down in here, but it held it. This is a good solid support right here, and it pounded on until it entered the channel and went right back up. So I'm going to continue to follow the price action side of it. You know, listen to the other people and what they believe they're going to follow. But I think right now we're at that locking area for these last few days, because we're going to go a different direction and probably see interest rates jump a bit, cost of those rates jump a bit. Now, is it going to be a huge jump in rates? No, probably not. Maybe an eighth or a quarter. But you see the cost per rate will go up. That's what happens when the candles go down. It means money is leaving the mortgage-backed securities. The cost for every rate will go up, every increment that's available to you. As it goes up, the cost for that will go down. We're not seeing massive movements here to move the full rates themselves, but the cost for those rates will move. And if you want to pay less fees, you take a little bit higher rate, but that's not always going to work either, too. There's sweet spots in there. So that's where we're at right now. Happy birthday, Derek. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like, subscribe if you feel you want to. And I'll just keep bringing you the data I got here to show you the interest rates aren't really going to get that damn much better. You just got to lock as it gets to the peak of these channels, float it down at the bottom, and hope it doesn't fall to the bottom channel. That's the big risk. You know, that's another risk. Let me just show that again, guys. We risk this. It's going to play in this price action, but if it does break this, eventually it's going to. Look at this. This channel is going to eventually intersect with this. And is this going to end up becoming a ceiling? If it does, bam, we're going to keep floating down in here. Actually, let me switch to one of my other charts here so we can look at where that compares to the prediction that we have for the future anyway. So look, we're bounced off the target, hit the second target. That channel is going to intersect with it, pushes down to the third target. All right. And so if it continues there, eventually we're going to get down here and bounce off it completely. That is the belief. I believe this is where a lot of money is sitting to buy into mortgage-backed securities. And this might be where our highest interest rates are, up here at the top of this, where the lowest interest rates are. So it's going to be continuing to this long, wide range, but then targets in between those range, pushes into channels. That's my anticipation. That's what I expect to happen. If anybody tells you anything different, listen to them, see what they have to say, and then let them give you evidence. If they're saying, well, this is what the news says, news hasn't been right yet. I mean, little times here and there, but for the most part, kind of like that whole clock thing, the broken clock's right twice a day. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.